You were out there before the sun rises, old sneakers on dreams in your stride. Breathing deep, just taking it slow. Rain or shine, you still show.
Stability shoes are usually not appealing to runners who don't need them because most of them give either a slant to the feet, like the J Kayono 30, or are generally less responsive due to foam modifications like in the Nike Zoom Structure 25. This is where the 361 degrees Fierce Max differs. It gives the needed extra support without compromising on comfort or response. Now, first things first, this shoe runs small. I bought my usual size here, size EU45, and they were quite snug. The only saving grace was that the toe box is quite roomy, so despite the shoe being too short, I still had enough room to spread out my toes. So I was able to do a 12-kilometer run in this comfortably, though I would have preferred more room in the front of my toes. So my advice to you, if you want this, is go at least half a size up in order to get a more comfortable sizing. Now let's get to the details of this shoe, starting from the upper. This is a single layer of jacquard mesh with lots of perforations, quite breathable. It feels nice around the feet. You got some TPU overlays in the front here for added strength and toe protection. Like I mentioned earlier, toe box is wide. Now heading to the rear, you got some thick padding around the collar and the heel counter for a good ankle support and comfort, as well as ensuring a good heel lockdown. There's decent thickness in the tongue, giving nice comfort under the laces. It is fully gusseted, helping the midfoot lockdown. It still has a lace loop here, so it does not slide as you run. A TPU insert runs across the back of this shoe, giving solid support to the heel. Moving on to the midsole, this one has a dual density setup. A very soft and responsive extreme light foam is placed in the whole of the forefoot area as well as the upper part of the heel. And a denser foam is in the lower part of the heel area. Between these two foams lies a nylon plate. You can see the yellow line here. The midsole thickness is listed as 31 mm in the heel, 25 in the forefoot, giving a 6 mm heel to toe drop. However, when you add the outsole and the insole, it gets quite higher, up to 38 mm. Looking at here, you see that it has a heel bevel and also lifted up in the forefoot, which when you look at the profile, it gives a nice rocker to the underside for smooth transition from landing to toe off. The insole is thick, soft, and removable, giving a nice plush feel underfoot. The outsole is thick rubber, covering most of the underside of these shoes. Now, the selling point for this shoe is stable support. So let's look at the stability elements. First of all is the wide base, especially the heel area. Most shoes narrow towards the heel, but you can see that this one is wide for greater force dispersion. The second setup here is the dual density foam. Notice that the softer foam is up for a nice cushion during landing, and a firmer foam is below it to give more stability. It is much thinner on the outside than on the inside. When I measured it, I was getting 27.5 mm on the inside and 14.5 mm on the outside. So you see that on the inside, you have almost twice the thickness of the foam on the outer side. What this does is that as you land on the heel, the outer part compresses more than the inner part, thereby modulating that ankle rolling, which you get in people with excessive pronation. Now, between the two layers, you have a nylon plate, like I mentioned earlier, that adds some kind of torsional rigidity, especially in the heel area. And again, the firm TPU insert in the heel area also gives firm support to the heel. Together, all these work to give nice stability to these shoes. The high points of my run experience in these shoes are cushion, stability, and response. I'm a heel striker, so landing on my heel, they gave very nice cushion. And then they were also pretty soft in the forefoot area. So whether you are landing on your heel or forefoot, you are getting enough cushion. You can see this is easily compressible. The extreme light foam here is very soft and very responsive. Now, these shoes weigh 328 grams in my size, US 11 or EU 45. But you know that if you have to size up to get a better fit in this, of course, the weight will also increase. However, these shoes are very bouncy, so that goes a long way to keep these shoes from feeling heavy underfoot. In fact, they actually felt kind of light because of the level of response that you are getting from this. They compress nicely and rebound quickly, helping you to just move along easily. I did a 12-kilometer run in them today, and it was a nice, fun run. I felt excellent cushion with a very stable ride. And the response from these are a standard feature among stability shoes. Why most stability shoes give a dull ride? These were dynamic and fun. You can run pretty easy in them. But if you also decide to turn up the pace, they respond instantly. The more you give to these shoes, the more you get out of them. Energy return from them was pretty good. The grip on dry pavement is great. So I will say these are versatile. From easy to up-tempo runs, they will be very appropriate. Their weight though make them not suitable for out and out speed runs. I feel these are shoes that anyone can run in. You know, the stability elements are so subtle that even neutral runners can enjoy running in them. They will be good for heavy runners too because they will get a nice cushion and support and still has enough bounce to get a nice fun run. This one is also a good recommendation for older runners because older runners will get the needed extra support and cushion while still getting enough response for a nice fun run. So the advantages are they are stable, protective, comfortable, and they are responsive. So what are the cons? The disadvantages in this shoe are number one, the weight. 328 grams in my size is okay. But then if you need to size up to get a better fit, then the weight can now increase. And again, some people may think that it looks budget. It looks fine to me, but I got some people who said it looks budget. It's kind of budget because it's still less than $100. So I got this one for, I think, approximately $82. When I compare this shoe to other stability shoes which I have tried, this one has an edge. Let's take the A6 Gel Kayano 30 for instance. This one is lighter than the Gel Kayano 30 and also more responsive. And then the Gel Kayano 30 also gave that kind of slant feel that neutral runners will not enjoy. The Forever Run Nitro is also responsive, but this is much cheaper. Compared to the Nike Air Zoom Structure 25, this is also slightly lighter and much more responsive. The On Cloud Runner 2 is lighter and quite responsive too. However, this is so much cheaper. So in summary, the 361 Degrees Fierce Max is a stable, responsive running shoe that is likely to appeal to a lot of runners. I totally recommend this one, so I'll be putting the link in the description. If you want it, please support the channel by using the link to buy. I think that's it for this one. I hope you got something out of this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more videos. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.